quick how to use the pen tool for your animal. So I'm going to go to Photoshop and I'm going to start a new document. Now the new document should be, I think it's 16 inches by 10 inches, and you can really kind of make it any resolution you want, but 100 would be good. Okay, and start with a white background like that. So just set it up like that, be good. Again, to do that, you can just go to File, New, in Photoshop. Okay, all right, so I'm going to open up my image that I have I have a cat here. There we go. And to select that cat, the best way to select it is using the pen tool. Okay, don't use any of these others under here. We're not quite to that point yet. There's some other tools underneath there. Come on, well, it's not showing them, but you want that tool right there. And you want to see the path palette, because we're going to be creating a new path. Make a selection and then copy and paste. Okay, so I have two documents. I have the document I'm going to put the cat in, and I have the cat document open. All right, so I'm going to grab the pen tool, and I usually start at a corner somewhere, and just try to make a decent selection. You can't select all the fur, so I'll just start up at the top here, and I'm just going to click the beginning point and then come down here, and I'm just going to make a curve that comes down the cat's ear right there. So I'm just going to click and drag. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to eliminate one of these control points, because if we start going different direction, it's going to do weird things. So I'm holding the Option key down on the Mac. It might be Control or Command on PC, I'm not sure, but and you'll see that I'm going right to the middle one. You see that little V that shows up, or that little pointer that shows up when I go over it, and that's going to eliminate that control point so I can go any direction with it that I want. Okay, so I'm going to go to the next point and click and drag, and I use that almost every time. Click and drag. Get rid of node, click and drag. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and go all the way around here. So it takes a little practice. Click in the middle node, not on any of the end ones, the middle node right there. Click and drag, click and drag, click and drag. And the reason we do this is to get more control and change direction of the pen tool. Okay, click and drag. And I'm staying inside the fur, so I don't have to select all the hairs there. And just coming up and around, click and drag. Okay, and then complete the path. So you'll see the path is completed. So I'm working with these two palettes, the Layers palette and the Paths palette. Now that I have a selection or a path, I have to make a selection. To do that, I got to make sure that the work path is highlighted and go Make Selection. Now I could feather this a little bit to give it a soft edge, which I'll do. I'll feather about 2 pixels, and what that's going to do is just soften the edge a little bit. Okay, so you can see now I have a selection of the cat. Alright, don't select that, because if you select that, if that's highlighted, you're copying the path. So make sure that's not selected. Okay, and I have the cat selected. There we go. And I'm just going to edit copy, and then go back to the document I'm going to put him in and paste. And there we go. And I would turn these two things on right here, the auto select and auto transform. That way we can just grab one of the corners and scale him down. If you hold the Shift key, it will keep it in proportion. You can see that right there. All right. And then you can get a environment background, and you actually have to have a foreground and a background as well. And when you save this, the best way to save it would be, and I'm just going to save it on my desktop, as something that makes sense to you, and as a PSD with layers, because that's what you're going to submit. So you should end up with 4 layers, foreground, background, the animal, and a shadow. Okay. So hopefully that helped you with the pen tool. Remember, what we do is we click and drag to follow a contour. All right. Now, if I don't get rid of that, it's going to kind of do its own thing. You can see it right there. So basically what I will do is hold the Option key down, and you see that little sign that shows up. That means I'm converting that control path. I'm actually eliminating it. I'll click. Okay, then I can change direction very easily. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense to you. All right, so just go in and practice. The best way to do it is, start drawing with the pen tool. Click around, play with it a little bit, convert those. Now we can draw either thing. We can draw straight paths, or we can click and drag a curve. And then if we want to change direction, holding Option key down while I click. Okay. Okie doke. Well, hopefully that helped. So just email me if you need any more help on that.